You are live on 98.9 Northwest FM. This is the Tuesday Review. I'm Nathan, as always, joined by James. How you going, James? What's something that's made you happy in the last week?
Look, I'm just going to go back probably more than a week and just say watching Jane Silent Bob Strike Back with the boys.
Yeah, that was a special moment. That was our...
Can I piggyback on that one?
Yeah.
I also joined by Callum, who has the same sentiment.
Oh, and it's a tough week for the happy question.
Yeah, that's
Every week is a tough week for the happy question.
And that's a really good answer because that actually did make me happy and I really enjoyed it.
That was like the one time I've felt any like genuine happiness.
It was good.
Yeah, in a while.
It is a consistently funny movie, even today.
It's
it
so
also
good.
just made me feel warm inside.
Yeah.
Like it's that not childhood, but you know what I mean. It's that
we've talked about Kevin Smith so much. It's like it's so important to us growing up and our friendship and like our love of movies and dumb comedy and so
just those great moments. I mean, if someone says to me, I'm like, oh yeah, I know that moment, but you haven't seen it for so long, they just hit different.
Yeah. I mean, we still could recite every line of the movie.
Oh yeah, it's infinitely quotable.
Yeah, it's so good.
Ooh, what's a trouser snake?
Nathan, what about you? Did you have?
As for me, what made me happy this week, or is going to make me happy this week, is the Lincoln Lawyer coming back this week as we're recording this. That makes me happy.
Yeah.
So, which is one of my favorite kind of Netflix shows.
Yeah, you guys are all into that, so I have to get on board.
Yeah,
at some point.
That makes me happy. It's something to look forward to.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get straight on into the show now, I reckon. Alum's not here yet, or if he's coming, so we're going to talk about the new Mel Brooks documentary, The 99-Year-Old Man.
Yes.
First. I, obviously, as men of culture, we've enjoyed Mel Brooks's films, of course, many times over the years, but
100%.
I never really watched or had seen a documentary about the man himself.
Mm-hmm.
It was always just like the funny guy.
Yeah.
So it was really interesting to kind of watch Judd Apatow talk to Mel Brooks just about his life growing up, his early career, just what it took to get into the industry.
Yeah. I mean, what's great about it is that so it's a 2-part documentary. Each part is about like an hour and 45 minutes. So it's good because it covers everything in a good amount of time. Because usually with these documentaries, it's either 90 minutes and they have to cut a whole bunch of stuff out, or they break it up into like 8 40-minute episodes and it's just dragged out and repetitive or whatever. So this is a perfect like documentary length that covers his whole life and career, basically. And it's good to see a lot of the early stuff. I mean, I knew I'm a big Mel Brooks fan. So I knew a lot of the history behind it, but it's good to like see it all set out and like from his own words, and also like they did a really
footage.
That's what I was going to say. They did a really wonderful job of using archival footage, and interviews with some of the people involved, and it was all quite well put together. Yeah, like structurally, it was sound.
100%. Yeah. It was really good and it was funny, and it was just a well-made. Really well informative documentary.
Yeah, definitely. If you're listening at home, text in 044 77779 and let us know your favorite Mel Brooks film or project. I wish I'd have gotten the chance to see the producers
when it came out in the 60s?
Yeah, no, the play, like when they relaunched with Matthew Broderick.
Have you seen the movie version?
Yeah. But I would have loved to have seen it
the
on
movie
stage.
version of the stage show.
Oh, no.
Yeah, there's a movie version of the stage show.
It's pretty good?
It's good.
I should watch that.
Yeah, the producers 2001?
2006, I think.
But it would have been amazing to see that with like Nathan Lane, Matthew Broderick.
Oh, with the original.
The original Broadway run would have been classic.
The closest we have is Book of Mormon.
Yeah.
Which maybe in 20 years we'll look back on that and be like, oh, maybe. Man.
Which I have that to look forward to next month.
That's coming back. But I mean, that's pretty old now too. It's been
I've never seen it though.
Oh, you never seen it?
No, so I'm going for the first time next month.
Callum, have you seen it?
I have.
I'm going with Callum and Julian, who are seeing it again, and I'm going for the first time.
When Julian and me went and saw it the first time, we had the worst seats in the whole house.
Oh, I think I remember this story. Yeah.
And now we got him. Julian's like, I want to get real seats this time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
I'll go again. I really liked it.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
like
I loved it. I saw
when
it.
we went to see the Grease play with Christian.
Yeah.
Christian had gone, but they got shit seats. Same thing happened. And Christian's like, I want to get.
Who is buying these seats?
I don't know, the Bonfilios.
Oh,
I guess,
that's
you know,
why.
the
That
cheapest
explains.
back seats right in the corner. And yeah, we ended up going to see Grease with Christian again, and we had much better seats. And he was like, "It's so much better this time around." I'm like,
when you can actually
when
see.
you're sitting at the back with obstructed viewing, it's going to be terrible every single time.
Yeah.
I think Alan was joining us. Alan also came to see the Grease. How you doing, Alan?
What's going on?
Very good. What's made you happy the last week, Alan?
Happy and angry, I suppose, is Arc Raiders.
Yeah, it's ups and downs.
Such a good run, and then
you know what? Let's be honest though. Bullies with nothing better to do, coming and picking on these innocent 30-something-year-old men in the studio. These kids, bullying kids.
They were probably 12. Well, they were probably
that's
12-year-olds kicking your ass.
But it's like we work hard all day. We come home, we go on Arc Raiders, and you get shot by a couple of 10-year-olds, and like, haha.
And
you're just like,
They call you the N-word and
well, the
talk
best,
about how much they...
the best defense, the best, I guess, outcome I've gotten so far is because you get to talk on proximity chat if you decide to.
You can cuss them out.
So once they shoot us and they got us down, the game is programmed really well where there are ticks. They're like basically like little ticks, but they're mechanical.
They're like bombs.
Yeah.
They're like homing bombs.
Oh, well, the ticks just more like spiders.
Oh, the
It's like
spider.
face crawlers. Yeah.
They will jump at you, and they are programmed to basically anyone that's a rat, which is a person that shoots another person. They're programmed to go after them. So
They're
while we're in the
showing
middle of getting killed, a tick jumped on one of the guys, which is hilarious, and he knocked Callum out. Well, Callum cussed him out, and I said, "This is why your parents got divorced." And like, because you want to conserve ammo in this game.
Yeah.
You know, you got to build up your ammo. You don't really get it for free. He then proceeded to, after knocking Callum out, after I said that, he turned his gun on me and shot me, even though I was already down.
Alan touched a nerve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm very proud of myself there. It's a game that's...
If it comes to shit talking, you don't want to go up against Alan. He'll destroy you.
And the beauty of it is that living in Australia, I think it's a 50% divorce rate around here. So
there is also like you play in local service.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm like, there's a 50% chance I'm right. And
Well,
in this case, I think I was.
The one reaction I got that was really great was I said a guy was being un-Australian.
He got upset.
And he got
that.
really upset. He was like, "Will you shut the bleep up?"
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anyway, moving on.
Also, Alan, the Lincoln Lawyer coming back this Thursday.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, moving back along. Yeah, so the Mel Brooks documentary is a very good time, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, highly recommended. I mean, I think...
Is it a comedy?
I mean, yeah. Sort of.
I mean, it shows like it's got a lot of clips from
It's like it's a 3-hour documentary about a comedian who.
You remember the
movies.
Blazing Saddles?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is it a comedy? So it's just...
Yeah, I mean,
it's a documentary about his life. Like,
but it is very
And then
funny.
his grandmother
but it's
died, and
very
you just see
funny.
something funny, like her falling down the stairs or something. It's just like everything.
It's reenactments of his life,
Yeah.
but it's a goofball comedy.
But, it's a documentary, but it is consistently fun.
Yeah.
So I would say yes. Yes and no.
I think, I mean, if you're not a Mel Brooks, not familiar, like, I think watch Blazing Saddles, Young Frankenstein, Producers. That's
Robin
probably...
Hood, Men in
and
Tights.
Spaceballs. Yeah, and Spaceballs. Those are probably the 4 main ones that you have to watch. But then, Robin Hood's great. So check it out. It's a great documentary about a great man who...
I mean,
has given us so much,
He's still kicking goals.
and he's still around, and they're making Spaceballs 2, which I don't think will be good, but fingers crossed.
The one scene I want to highlight is the scene where they're talking about just Mel Brooks just rustling jimmies and whatnot, and it's Carl Reiner's like some sort of award ceremony.
Oh, the final scene.
Oh,
final scene, and
with the nose.
Yeah. And there's a scene, Alan, where Mel Brooks is being disruptive to this award ceremony on purpose, right? That's the joke.
It's planned, yeah.
And he's saying, he doesn't deserve it. I'm not even a real Jew. And he's like going in this whole tirade about how it's all fake.
and he rips off a fake nose.
And he's wearing a fake nose, which if you don't know about it in the beginning, you can't tell. And he like rips his...
I could tell, and I was
reckon?
like, that looks weird. Why does he... And then as he kept going, I was
Yeah.
like, oh, it's a bit.
And then he's like rips his nose off, and
Yeah.
it's amazing.
And Carl
That's
Reiner's
great.
like dying.
Yeah,
in the-
Carl
in the
Reiner's
scene.
just trying to stay alive.
Yeah. You know a bit I like when they're doing the 2,000-year-old man or whatever, and he's like, this suit's 100 years old. Is how do you know? And he like opens it, and he's like, look at this. And it's got a tag that says, this suit is 100 years old. And the best jokes are when he can make Carl Reiner genuinely laugh.
Yeah.
Because it's like, he's always funny, but when comedians break other comedians,
I think
it's the best.
their strength was they were both very funny, and they both just wanted to make each other laugh, and everything outside of that is just a bonus.
Yeah.
They're doing it for themselves first.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel a lot of those old guys were just like making each other laugh, and then we got to sort of be a part of that, whether it, be through a movie or a show or, Johnny Carson or whatever. So, yeah, amazing. All those legends like Carl Reiner and Sid Caesar and then, Dom DeLuise and like all these Eugene Wilder and all these people like that have, are in that same legendary orbit, just incredible. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll move along. We're going to do unless anyone else has anything first.
Should we, we could do the rip, but I don't think it's worth it.
Oh, we'll do like a 30 seconds on the rip. All right, so the rip is Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, best buds, play best buds.
Yeah.
And they're policemen or affiliated, I guess, in their own sort of section of rippers who target like cartels and drug houses and kind of
they basically
illegal money.
They raid drug houses and like
they take cash,
confiscate the drugs and the money.
Yeah.
And the movie's about their team sort of storming a house and finding an insane amount of money, more than they've ever found.
And it's like the ethics of, are they going to steal it for themselves?
Yeah.
Are they not going to steal it?
And
whose money is it?
If it's this much money, it means there's the cartel involved, and it's not just, local drug dealers. It's much bigger. And then there's corrupt cops involved. So it's like...
Yeah, and there's a subplot of like, there is a group of these cops who are stealing cash.
Who are actually going...
Are they actually safe?
Yeah, is Matt Damon the bad guy? Is Ben Affleck the bad guy?
Yeah.
Are they,
will they, won't they kind of shenanigans are afoot. Look, I think the actual story is fine. I think the story itself is fine. I think the script is garbage. And that's for one specific reason that Matt Damon and Ben Affleck have actually talked about.
Yeah.
The Netflix forced this film to essentially just have an exposition dump every few minutes so people on their phones knew what was going on.
Yeah. So we've talked about it before with the whole second screen thing where, and we've heard about this before where Netflix has this mandate of like, when your show and movie on Netflix everything has to be re-explained 500 times. The characters have to say what they're doing because now streaming movies aren't real movies. It's just content to people to put on the background while they're doing something else or playing on their phone or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's probably part of it. But even then, I was like disappointed because I think the general like story, it's like the only reason I watch it is because it was written directed by Joe Carnahan, who I really like. Otherwise, I was like, if it wasn't him, I was like, who would watch? This is clearly just Netflix, straight to Netflix trash. Even with Ben Affleck and who I don't like as an actor, I think he's awful. But even with big names like Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, it's clear like from the trailer and whatever, it's like this is just content. This is just streaming slop. But because Joe Carnahan, I was like, oh, this might be actually interesting. And there were parts of it where like it didn't look awful, like it was competent when a lot of Netflix movies are not. But yeah, it's just personally like, it wasn't well written. It wasn't anything we hadn't seen before. It's slow, it drags. And yeah, at the end of it, I was just like, this is really dumb.
Yeah.
You liked it more than I did.
Look, I think the story itself is okay. I think with a good script rewrite and maybe some slight changes, it could have been a better movie. I'm not saying a good movie.
Yeah.
But it could have been a better movie. I also think, again, it's interesting just to point out the fact that Matt Damon and Ben Affleck produced this film.
Yeah.
And they had an arrangement where if it does well enough on Netflix, then the actual crew gets more money, or they get a percent.
That was
or
cool,
kickback,
yeah, because
whatever it is. Which that is good if you can get Netflix to agree to something like that, something akin to that. I'd be interested to know how they work out what qualifies as a success, though.
Because with so usually with old TV and movies, it's like you get a percentage of the box office,
yeah.
and then when they run it on TV, you get a percent, like a part of that, and then Whereas streaming, and especially Netflix, is just like you get a flat rate and that's
Yeah,
it. And so they can play it a million
Are
times.
bonuses based on views?
Yeah, so I think
How do they quantify a view? Is it someone who is watched it for 30 seconds? Is it someone who's watched the whole movie?
that's the thing. Yeah,
is
I
it
don't
in
know.
one sitting or broken up? Like,
And especially because Netflix doesn't release those numbers.
No.
So creators, who make shows and movies on Netflix always say, like, we don't know if it's doing well because they don't tell us.
Yeah, I'd be interested to know, like, how Netflix kind of approached that. Obviously, they probably wouldn't want to do that kind of arrangement, but with Ben Affleck and Matt Damon would be like, we'll star in it and produce it with this condition. They'll probably like, all right, look, it's worth whatever it's going to cost us because we're getting big names attached.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. It'd be interesting to know how it worked.
Yeah. It's a good arrangement because it's actually paying people properly again, whereas streaming, has kind of... They in the studios, they're trying to worm their way out of that as much as they can.
Yeah. Also interesting, again, on a semi-related note, interesting to see that I haven't seen it obviously, but Iron Lung has done quite well, which is an
the
indie
Markiplier movie. Yeah, I actually wanted to see that, but I wasn't sure if you guys were interested, and then I was...
Is that being shown here?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's at
actually... Was that Hoyt?
it's at our local.
If it's playing next weekend, maybe we should go.
It's interesting to see that some of these independent films are doing quite well. Because maybe people are finally getting the burnout of the Marvel fatigue and the Disney fatigue.
I think Iron Lung is a specific case as well of a huge...
It's an indie video game getting adapted by an indie YouTuber.
A game that really took off, and then one of the biggest YouTubers making it.
I think it didn't take off until he played it. I think he was playing. Someone referenced it in his chat, and he played it, and then it got much bigger.
Maybe,
I believe.
but I think
it was made by a single dev.
It's done the circle.
I found it. A few different people played it.
Yeah, it's done the circuit of the Let's Play.
It wasn't a game that you'd be like, oh yeah, I really want to go out and play it. It's more about you want to see someone play it and kind of go through their experience.
That's what's interesting about Let's Play YouTubers is like some video games. It's like, I would love to play that, but I could just watch the 40-minute playthrough.
With Iron Lung, the entire playthrough is like 70 minutes.
I think Let's Play is the most interesting when it's like an indie game or something a bit different. And like, I don't care about watching a Let's Play of a dude playing Call of Duty. Like, I really couldn't give a shit.
But then that's the whole other thing with like
and then you
Twitch
see Burnt
streaming
Peanut
and stuff.
just go at it. He's like the biggest VTuber of all time currently.
Yeah.
And he's playing Arc Raiders, and he's just...
I mean, Arc Raiders is different because that has a more emergent gameplay.
Yeah.
There's some more interesting shenanigans that can happen.
And if we came across him, we'd hate him.
Would we?
Yeah, he takes no prisoners.
Okay.
We'd be like, we don't got nothing, Mr. Peanut. And then he'd, bam, takes it.
And then if we do defeat him, then you've got made an enemy of the internet.
Yeah.
Like, oh no.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving.
But then you could, if you could clip it and say we did that.
Yeah,
That's
we
true.
killed
It'll be
the
on our
peanut.
YouTube.
We burnt the peanut down.
Is that what we need to start doing? Recording our gameplay and putting on the Tuesday Review YouTubes?
Yeah.
Yeah, you should do a
Live stream it.
Yeah, Twitch stream Tuesday Review.
Tuesday Review Gaming, yeah.
Yeah.
We should do it, Alan. We should do it.
Yeah. Session with the boys.
Yeah. They'll probably be more popular than whatever crap we're doing in here.
Anyway, we'll move it along. So Callum finally got around to watching Pluribus, the Apple TV show by Vince Gilligan, and he's got some thoughts. Get off Twitter. Get off Twitter, Callum.
Should we
stop reading the Epstein files, Callum?
That's what I was literally doing.
So predictable.
So Pluribus.
Should we just do a full spoiler?
We'll do full spoilers.
Okay.
It's been long enough. We'll just introduce it very quickly.
Yeah, major spoiler. Well, we'll introduce it and then we'll major spoiler on it.
Yeah, so essentially it is about a lady who makes romantasy slop.
Yeah, she's an author.
Yeah.
Who writes
She's a slop author, which is part of the joke, right?
Yeah.
The books are shit. That's part of the joke.
Yeah, she wants to be a real writer, but the successful stuff is
just trash.
Much like real life.
Yeah, exactly. The romance fantasy.
There's that green text meme where it's kind of like he vampired billionairely across the room, and I'm just like that kind of sums up the entire book industry right now, and it's such a shame.
They make like $1 billion.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's an author, and her wife's her manager, right?
Yeah.
Are they married?
I assume so.
Yeah.
Well, they're in a long-term relationship. But anyway.
So Carol's a shit kicker author who is popular because people have no taste.
Yeah, and she's also kind of like is curmudgeon the right word? Like she's grumpy. She's a grumpy person. And she kind of resents her fans and her audience.
Yeah, but if you're getting like a book signing and you just get like early middle-aged women coming up at you, to late middle-aged women, in
They're
that
paying.
bracket. But I'm just like, eventually get tired of it.
Yeah,
Not that I'm
but-
hating
yeah,
on
I
middle-aged
get,
but,
women.
I
I mean-
suffering from success.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
you know what?
What is it? My lobster too buttery. You know that meme?
Yeah.
My steak's too juicy.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. It's like,
It's like, sorry, you're doing well. There are other people who would have been in your position.
Yeah, that's
Like,
it.
write your slop and be
Yeah,
happy.
but no,
Yeah.
look, that's...
Or write a different kind of
Yeah.
book. You know what I mean?
But she seems to be trying that.
Apologies to
Like,
anybody
yeah.
who writes listening. Okay, it's one of those fake jobs, right? You don't have to go to work. You get up, you make your coffee, you type, and then that's it. You watch TV for the rest of the day. It could be so much worse, Carol.
Yeah, you
But
hear me?
I also think...
George R.R. Martin, write the damn book.
Yeah, but he doesn't even write.
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah.
but like,
He just
the
gets
thing
it to
is,
other
I
shows.
don't understand why Carol doesn't use a pen name to write other books. J.K. Rowling did it,
Well-
which is like, I want to be taken seriously, and then
Yeah.
people found out it was her anyway, and they're just like, okay.
I mean, they kind of go into in the shows, like she does have a serious novel and it is, it's good, quote unquote, but is it going to do well, especially when now it's coming from the author of those other fantasy
Yes.
books. And so
that's why you need a pen name.
Yeah, I mean, but anyway, yeah, so Carol's a bit of a grump, and she's not really a people person, and then there's some sort of alien invasion, let's just say, where normal people are infected with some sort of alien virus, and that instead of turning them into mindless zombies or evil killer demon aliens, it just makes everyone really nice and really helpful.
And into a hive
And
mind.
it turns everyone to a hive mind. So everyone in the
Yeah.
world is connected through feelings and thought.
Memory, yeah.
Yeah, and memory and experience. Like everyone in the world kind of is and now everyone's working together, except Carol is like immune or whatever. And so
Along
she's
with a handful of other people.
with a small handful, but it's mainly focused on her.
Yeah.
And she's like, she didn't like people before. Now everyone's really nice and working along and just trying to, these people are just trying to help her. But she's even more like alienated now. She's like, what
But
the hell?
They
And
still
she's-
have that drive to everyone else.
The
Who's
biological
infected,
imperative,
They still
yeah.
have
Yeah.
that biological imperative and drive to spread that infection
Yeah.
or virus.
And part of
Yeah.
the
So
show,
they're always trying to convince her to become one of them.
yeah, and part of the show, which I think we talked about before, is like the moral, the ethical dilemma of like, yes, the world is now peaceful. There's no war. There's no crime.
But,
But
there's no individuality.
There's no individuality, and there was no choice.
Yeah.
There was no consent given to this. And, Carol is kind of like, yeah, I hate people and people suck, but also I want the world back the way it was,
Yeah.
even though everything's really nice now and I can get whatever I want because these beings are being really cool and helpful. And so it's like a different kind of post-apocalyptic alien invasion show where instead of like hiding and trying to fight the monsters or whatever, it's just a normal
It-
kind of woman who's
She's just as isolated in a different way.
yeah,
Yeah.
and trying to, and I think we talked about this as well on an earlier episode. What I really like about it too is she's not a special forces soldier. She's not a scientist. She's not someone who has the tools to really fight or come up with a cure or whatever. She's just a normal person, and so we have to see her how she problem solves and how she just doing normal logical.
What I like
Um,
about it is it reminds me very much of the kinds of stories that Isaac Asimov would tell, where it's like there's no villain necessarily. Like you could make an argument that like the alien intelligence itself is the villain, but even then, the alien intelligence itself is not inherently threatening. It's not gonna, apart from the
Well, yeah.
psychological transformation, no one's being harmed by it. There's no deaths going on. Quite
That's
the
the
opposite.
other thing. The
It's-
beings can literally cause no living thing harm.
Yeah.
They can't
So-
even pick apples off a tree. They have to wait for them to fall off the tree.
So what we have is a sci-fi dystopia story without a threat. And it's really interesting because it's quite a gentle story.
Yeah.
And I use the word gentle a bit loosely, but it's just a character drama. It's a science fiction character drama where most of the action is spent with Carol dealing with questions like, what does it mean to be a human being? What is agency? how far can my ethics get pushed? Like,
Yeah.
by what give and take am I allowed to give myself with the alien intelligence? Because
Yeah.
even though she's fighting against it, she also needs that connection. And it's a connection that she can't necessarily get with the other survivors.
And then I guess we'll go into spoilers now because there's something I want to bring up kind of related to that.
Before we go into full spoilers, we'll go to a very quick break.
Okay, cool.
We'll be back right after these quick messages. You are back on 98.9 Northwest FM. This is the Tuesday review, talking all things Pluribus. This is a major spoiler warning for Pluribus. Please, if you're interested in the show, make sure you watch it before.
Definitely watch the show. It's one of the best shows on TV. I think I said it in a few episodes ago. I think other than Severance, it might be the best show on TV right now.
I remember we talked about this before, but when Apple TV first was a thing, we were like, "Oh, no,
yeah, what a
it's
joke.
going to be so crap." And it's like, no, it is prestige television.
Yeah.
It is HBO.
Yeah, this is. I think we talked about this as well.
Yeah.
Like, this is a show that feels expensive. Like, it looks like a real big budget show.
Yeah.
Most shows now, they cost so much money, but they look like garbage, like Stranger Things or whatever.
Yeah, no, there are expanses in this show, and there's like cities and buildings, and it's like everyone's empty. Everything's empty. Like, there's sequences, like the supermarket. I'm like, that is impressive.
Yeah. That's another thing I love about the shows. Vince Gilligan, I guess he's from New Mexico, and Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul were set in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and this show is as well. So it adds a certain flavor that's different from your regular shows. And also the way it's shot is just so beautiful. It looks better than most shows and most movies, to be honest, recently. And it just sounds really good. And I love the editing.
I like it because Apple seems to have that kind of, at least somewhat of a hands-off approach, and they just let the people do what they want to do. You know, like
I don't know. I guess it just depends on the show. Like, because I didn't really like Sugar, that show that came out,
I don't get the same.
Ted Lasso is great, and Severance is great.
But I don't get the feeling there's the same level of, we'll call it studio interference, as say Netflix has. Or
everything is not as samey as Netflix and as dull and as dumb.
So there's a bit more creative freedom potentially.
Yeah. But yeah, I talked about if you want to go back and listen to episode 286, that's where where Alan, Nathan, and myself first talked about Pluribus. So we probably talked a lot about of the stuff that we just talked about there. So check out that. But now we're going to go full spoilers because Callum has seen it, and it's been a while since it's been out. So what Callum was saying before the break was about how the show is more about, the moral question, the ethical question, how Carol is dealing, the character, how Carol is dealing with the apocalypse, and how she's dealing with fighting a quote-unquote enemy who is not technically bad and literally cannot be violent and is predisposed to giving her all the comfort she wants.
It's also an interesting philosophical question.
Massive spoiler warning.
Yeah.
Massive spoiler warning. Definitely watch this show. It's one of the best shows, if not one of best show on TV. So check it out. Spoiler warning. What I was going to bring up is that's interesting because you have Carol and then you have the other survivors and how they're dealing with it. One of the survivors is a guy who's just taking advantage of everything. He's like, I'm going to sleep with all the beautiful women. He's I'm going to...
Mr. Diabate.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm
drive
gonna
all the fancy
travel
cars,
the world. Yeah, drive all the fancy cars and get all the palaces and castles and just live it up.
So when they first met all the, we'll call it survivors, as soon as they planes were landing, I'm like, where's Air Force One? Like immediately, the first thing is I'm getting Air Force One, and then Mr. Diabate rocks up with Air Force One. I'm like, my man.
That's what Alan would do if this scenario happened. First thing he'd do is everything that this guy's doing.
Well, not everything. I have reservations.
Well, that's another thing is the ethical question of
So this is
the hive mind. They want to please you. They want to they want to help you in any way or provide joy in any way.
Yeah. And I think this one of the more interesting parts of the show to me is the philosophy behind it. It's like how much of the individual is there, how much of the hive mind is there in any one time.
And what is the consent factor?
Yeah.
If the hive mind is making a decision, let's say with Mr. Diabate, who copulates with a lot of the characters, Like,
But does the
can they
person-
consent
yeah.
for the ritual?
They're willingly, willingly consenting to having sex with him, but
But how much of the original person is there?
exactly when everyone's mind is
Well,
melded and
It's
they didn't-
diluted because yes, the person's there, but it's also everyone else on
But
Earth.
but it
exactly,
also
and you're technically
So the show does an interesting thing where it plays both sides of this argument. So they do occupy. They are every single person on Earth. They have that they can access like a memory well.
yeah, but they're not all experiencing
But-
everything at the same time.
But they
they
will
can't.
refer
They
to.
are as well.
They do.
know it's happening, but
They
they're not
ref-
physically experiencing it because
They can sort of shut up.
But
It's
they will
not
refer
like
to. They will say it's one of the interesting things of the show is there's a moment where Carol wants a bottle of water. And she wants to know, like, she doesn't trust the society at this point. And we'll just call them society because what else do you call
The
them?
hive.
The hive, yeah. She doesn't trust the hive. So she's like, I'm not drinking this bottle of water. And then the representative goes, oh, no, it's fine. I just asked the guy who bottled this bottle of water, and he said nothing went into it.
Yeah.
And, like, that's interesting because it shows that there is some ability for them to draw on the personality of someone distinctly separate from the
I mean,
hive
they
mind.
have. I think.
no, they
I
can.
think that's-
For a brief second, so they can get the memories and say, like, oh yeah, it's
they
all
know.
cool.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
have all the knowledge
So,
of everyone.
yeah.
But I think what I'm talking about is specifically from an immediate experiential standpoint. They're aware that events are happening and they have all the information, but one person is not.
One person's
also-
not being like,
One person is not feeling all of the experiences
No.
of everyone else at one time.
Yeah.
And it's like I think that when saying I'm asking that person, that's just kind of I
Yeah,
guess for
it's-
ease of communication.
Yeah.
I think
'Cause
it's
they have
more
the
like-
information.
They all have it up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's. I think the example can't remember if we said it on air, if we were talking off air. But when one of the characters who hasn't been turned
Assimilated,
into the hive, her son has.
Lakshmi,
yeah.
Yeah, and Carol is like, yeah, great, that's your son, you love him, but he's also my gynecologist. Like I can ask him any question of anyone in the world and he'll know it. So yes, it's still your son, but it's also not.
Yeah.
So
And
that's the question. And
yeah,
you know,
exactly. It's kind of just like how much of that is, and that's part of the philosophical question of the show. But it's also interesting because it's like it can be turned off, right? There's a way to reverse it. We don't know
Allegedly.
what it is.
That's later.
That's going to lead
Yeah.
up into the next season.
Which,
So it's kind of like, again, that battle of philosophy of like, yeah, they're doing no harm, this, that, and everything else, but we can reverse it. Should we reverse it? Because there's like, also there are probably people there that will be happier as
Yeah. But again, it's a big thing of consent.
if you
Yeah.
can't consent,
Did you ask each
Yeah.
person before, did they want to be assimilated? No,
No.
you force the assimilation
Yeah.
on them.
Exactly.
and if you let people out
Mm.
and then let them decide,
Yeah.
and let's say half the people decide to rejoin and half the people don't, then you've got a fractured society which one side can be dangerous against the other. So again, it's just this massive moral like conundrum.
So I think all of these questions are kind of what makes the show really interesting.
Yeah. And it's like Callum was saying, it's like focused on that. It's not focused on, we have to get to the CDC and find a cure, and we have to get guns and, fight the alien invaders. It's more just this normal woman who's like trying to process the spoiler again, just in case, the death of her wife who died during the assimilation process, and then falling in love potentially with one of the ambassadors of the hive who they send to communicate with Carol. And, so it's like, it's just like this really interesting character drama. It's sci-fi in the ideas more than like, high-tech spaceships and guns and stuff.
Yeah, it's very Asimov. And one of the things I love is that...
Well, Asimov was very like robots and like...
Yeah, but in terms of the way that
the ideas, the
way he
ethical-
presents the ideas, it's less about the threat, more about the concept.
Yeah.
And I think that we're also like... The most interesting part is that even the hive doesn't know the origin of the pathogen.
Yeah.
And so I think, and the pathogen was sent through like a radio signal, and then they made the compound, and then that was the triggering factor.
Yeah.
I have a theory I'm going to lay down here. For like whether it's next season or 2 seasons ahead, if it gets that far, I reckon A. Lamels are going to be coming Earth at some point.
Well, I think
I think the origin, if you will, is going to make its way to Earth, or there's going to be more revealed about the origin.
they speculate. I think in the show there's a scene where they're like, "Oh, I think maybe whoever was the aliens far away on the planet, they sent this hive mind virus to like prepare the planet."
Yeah.
And then they'll follow after.
Yeah,
And what
so they get
an interesting concept would be, maybe even the aliens don't know where it started. Maybe they copped the signal.
Well, that's kind
And
of
then
gently-
it's like going all the way back
That's their whole principle, because their next goal becomes making the biggest satellite they can
to
to do it again.
to push the signal out somewhere else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, they it's kind of said they don't know where it comes
Yeah.
from.
Yeah.
They have an idea, and then
But
But they're the hive mind. I'm saying, like,
especially
if
when
we
you
find out who
consider-
the people are who sent the signal, it's possible hypothetically that they also just copped the signal and they don't know where
Yeah.
it came from
well,
either.
my
Yeah.
understanding was that it's kind of like the hive did it, and then they did it again, and then
and again, and this is like
Yeah.
somewhere down the chain. It's
Yeah.
not at
Yeah.
the start.
it might not. The signal might not have even been sent by the originator.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm
just be-
saying.
yeah.
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 and also like it obviously during the start it starts off on the rat, because they test on the rat among other things. Then it gets to the humans, but it's very clear that it's focusing on the apex, I guess, organism of the planet, because the wolves and stuff.
Yeah, I don't think it affects the animals. They can transmit it, but I don't think
Yeah, it
they're
doesn't
part
affect
of the
them, yeah.
hive mind.
So it feels more targeted in a way that it's about subduing we'll call it apex animal that controls the planet or species. Again, for maybe an invasion, or not an invasion, but an arrival of the species that's trying to take over, possibly.
Which is interesting, because usually in science fiction, the aliens come to like terraform the planet to make it like polluted or whatever, to make it inhabitable for them, and it's like really awful. Whereas this is like, no, we're gonna come to the planet, make everything really nice and neat and clean, and then we're gonna come and, which we don't even know if that's a plan. It's speculation.
Yeah.
They might not have
That's
interest
just a
in.
theory.
Yeah.
A show theory.
So what we were gonna get at before was that one of the characters who is not assimilated,
Called a survivor.
is Manusos, who is from Uruguay
Others-
or Paraguay.
Paraguay. My
Um,
man.
Yeah,
And the man struggles.
yeah, and his solution to this event is completely isolating himself from the hive mind and being like, you're not people anymore. I don't want to look at you. I don't want your help. I don't want your food. I don't want your water. So he completely cuts himself off until he hears from Carol, and then he decides, well, if there are other people out there who want to fix the world, quote unquote, then I can, I'm good. I'm down for that.
Yeah.
So once he gets to Carol, it's like he's maybe the more militant, like, Carol is willing to, I think Alan and I were talking about this, Carol is willing to
Carol's willing to get help.
Get help
Manusos
from the
is not,
hive,
yeah.
whereas Manus is like, no, I don't want anything from them, but I'm going to take them. And Carol might be even trying to take them down, but she'll get help from the hive because they'll give her anything.
And my man Manusos is a principled man.
Yeah.
Like he'll take a car and he'll leave cash or something.
Yeah.
He'll
Yeah.
he'll
He's
like-
leave recompense.
He's in that storage facility. I don't know if he runs it or owns it, but he left a note
Yeah.
saying, people will be compensated. I'm going to be raiding some
Yeah,
of your stashes.
Because to him, everything still belongs to the people.
Yeah, he
who's-
refuses to acknowledge the hive as
Yeah.
like
Yeah. He's like,
yeah.
he said, he says like to them, like, you're not,
You're not this person.
those aren't your bodies.
Yeah.
You stole those.
You stole those. They're like, we'll get your car over the border and stuff. And
Yeah.
he's like, with what? Like, you don't own anything. Like,
Yeah.
how are you going to do this? And, they're like, we know you love your car. And then he, just as a principled man, he sets his car on fire. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's a man again.
Mic drop.
Yeah, that's a man that stands for something. I'm like, Carol the hypocrite. You hear me, Carol?
Yeah.
But
it
man's
is
a drama queen.
No, I think it's an interesting.
If you set your a car on fire because like that's just drama queen behavior. There's no cameras recording you. You know what I mean? You're just being a drama queen.
he's sending a
The
message.
whole
to
world
the-
was watching, Callum, technically.
Yeah, hey, that's the other thing. They're always watching.
Yeah,
they're always
yeah,
watching.
think
They're
about
always
it.
listening.
But they're all one person, so it's like there was one person watching. Congratulations.
One
There was-
person watching 300 million.
There was one consciousness watching.
But he's saying they're not people. Like,
Yeah, so then there's no one watching.
Those people aren't people. So this is what I think is going to happen as well, because when he gets to Carol and he starts torturing one of the hive mind people to see if there's a way to sort of block the signal that makes them how they are.
And he gets kind of close.
Yeah. And I'm like, so Carol, you know, when Carol hurt one of the hive mind and it hurt all the hive mind, she's like, I'm not doing that again. I'll be good. But then she does it again because she's like
so like an
she's got a
emotional
temper.
resonance thing.
So they,
she's
so
got a temper, and so they isolate her, and then she
for
gets
listeners,
lonely.
if you really push them really hard on how to get rid of their
Yeah.
affliction,
Or if you just get really angry.
So-
yeah,
Yeah.
or it's
Stress them
big
out.
emotions. They nope out of big negative
Yeah,
emotions.
but at the end
or
of the
questions
day-
they can't answer causes them pain
Yeah,
because they
at-
can't help.
At the end of the day, Carol was like, all right, I'm going to fight these people, but I'm not going to hurt them. Where I think Manusas doesn't have that same...
It doesn't have the same hang up. Yeah.
Exactly. He was like, I think it might even get to the point where he starts murdering
I
them.
think it's
Because
interesting.
Melissa's gone to that point where he's like, look, these people are gone now.
Yeah.
So if
So
it's,
if a few of them have to die for me to bring him back,
But
tell
then-
you what,
so my
we'll call it.
theory,
Yeah, but then that's another question.
he's like, I'll
of
put an IOU for that person that's dead.
That's the
I owe
thing. It's
you
like
one life.
he's if there's a way to reverse it and he kills someone, then it's like, well, that was someone you could have
Yeah.
So
saved.
my theory is if it's to do with frequency, right?
Mm.
It's something to do with frequency or sound waves or something like that, right? If they were to put one of the hive mind in a Faraday cage or some sort of magnetically sealed environment or something like that to separate that one individual from the hive mind,
Mm.
they can do what they want without also letting the other billions of people know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that might come into it in the next
I
season.
think
How do we
that's-
isolate and single individual
Yeah.
so that we can experiment and test and do what we need to do and work it out
Yeah.
without also affecting the rest of the population?
Yeah.
Because they also don't want to be killing these people because if the people are dead, they're dead.
Yeah. There's also a kind of element, like, I guess it's race against time in a way, where it's like there's a way for them to turn Carol into a hive
They'll
person.
only do that with her permission.
Yeah, at the
Well, for
moment.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Towards
But
the
then
end,
that
it seems
and-
like
Yeah.
Yeah, but then they if they do that, they break their whole principle too.
But yeah, and then we
I mean, they
also
broke their
don't.
principle at the start to get everyone affected.
Yeah, we
right?
also don't know.
Yes, but their whole thing is we're bringing you kind of. It's complicated, but yes.
Yeah, but that's the thing is like we still don't know how much we can trust them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So far, they haven't broken their like vows of like not lying and not hurting any living thing. But I think there's a certain. But their overriding goal is to infect everyone, and even if eventually they'll figure it out, if they haven't already. So there's that, and then on the other side, Carol and Manusos have figured out like that there's a way they can potentially reverse it. So there is this kind of element still of like
And they'll also probably want to prevent the hive from sending another message into space.
that's the thing.
Yeah.
It's like if there is another and other beings coming to Earth or whatever, like we don't know. So yeah, it's just really interesting moral, ethical questions and ideas.
One of the things where, like, I don't want to say it's an inherent evilness about it, but one of the characters, I believe she is Caesar, Jennifer Esquivel. She's the one who.
Show me.
I think she's the one that's from like a rural. It's also
yes. It's
somewhere
like Peruvian.
Peruvian village.
Yeah.
And for her, she's very distraught at not being one of them because
All her family and friends.
yeah, all her aunts are assimilated, and so she just wants to join her family.
Mm.
And she's obviously, once they find out that there's a way to actually, take some of your, I think it's your stem cells,
Yeah.
and then kind of engineer a particular, I guess, variety of the virus that's more for you.
Yeah.
She signs up to it immediately.
Yeah.
And you see her in that Peruvian village. All the kids are kind of playing.
Yeah. Everyone's singing.
Everyone's singing.
and-
The animals are there. They're yurts, I guess, for lack of a better word. They'll,
Yeah. Huts.
huts and homes and everything
Yeah.
else are there. And you kind of see the plane in the sky. And she's like, "Is that it?" And they're like, "Yeah, it's ready." And eventually, the treatment comes to her. That's like some kind of aerosol that she smells and converts. The moment that happens,
They
right.
drop the act.
they drop the act. Everyone just opens the gates, lets
Yeah.
the animals loose, and they all walk away from the village.
Yeah. They go stone faced. There's no
Yeah.
singing anymore. There's no.
Yeah, it was
there's no-
all just to placate her, and it was feeding into her need for belonging to the village because that's all she's known. And that, I wouldn't call it, like I said, it's hard to say it's inherently evil. It's at least unethical.
Yeah.
Because she's
It's
also
also
the idea
sad-
that I'm just going to be with my aunts. We're going to be part of this village, but no, you're not going to be part of that anymore.
Yeah.
It's just until you assimilate.
To
and then we're
to
gonna,
play a hive advocate here,
yes.
she might have known that was the case all along because they don't lie to you. They might have said, "We'll pretend to be happy families."
But I
if
think
you want
from an
to.
outside perspective, it's like that loss of individuality is one thing.
Yeah.
So that's kind of whatever. But then there's also like, once everyone is part of the hive, what do they do? They just,
Just
there's just no.
Yeah, because they walk
There's
away
just
from the village.
nothing.
They're clearly
Yeah.
going to go into one of the city areas
Yeah.
and get into like a big old
There's
warehouse. and
literally
sleep.
nothing anymore after that. It's just.
What I like about it though is they still have a day to day, like because like the trains, for lack of a better word, trains still need to run, right? So there's scenes at the hospitals where you see like the nurses and doctors are still doing stuff, still treating
but
hurt units of the hind mind and whatnot.
Yeah.
I like that kind of stuff because it's like ants. It's like an ant colony.
yeah, but I mean that's
They were
the
just
thing.
kinda
It's
doing
like
their
it
thing.
becomes a mindless machine, and no one has any individual thoughts or feelings, or
And-
there's nothing done. There's nothing done that's not. The only thing's
They don't
done.
create things.
Yeah, the only things done. It's like I guess it's like an argument against AI or whatever. It's like the only things done are perfunctory survival. Like there's no one's doing anything for fun.
Yeah.
No one's
It's
doing
just,
things
like the
for-
trains are running so that either they can get like a
Food,
bunch of
they're
bodies,
just transferring
food, or like
yeah.
or some dead bodies that can become melted
Soylent
into
Green.
the Soylent Green. Yeah,
yeah.
because even Zozia, like she is.
Is it Zosha?
Zosha, sorry.
Yeah.
She is an individual that obviously they've recognized is very, very close to the female version of the character that Carol's book
In the book.
and they know from Helen
Yeah.
that the original character was supposed to be female, and then they have to obviously make it a male for the audiences and everything else. And she is basically that person incarnate, at least visually. So they send that specific person in a way to woo Carol or influence Carol.
Yeah.
Right? They are.
And at first Carol is like, I don't want to bar of you, but then she starts to sort of develop feelings for her. But then at the end, it's like, no, you're still just a hive mind. She doesn't know the real Zosha because we see the real Zosha. We see Zosha walking out of like the desert when she gets infected with the hive mind. And it's like, before that, we don't know who she was, where she was.
Again, like, you know what? The hive mind can tell Carol facts about Zosha, if you can believe the hive mind. But yeah, you don't know who they don't know the real person.
Yeah, the question would be to the hive mind. Yeah, if Zosha was actually here, what would she think of me? Would she be interested in me? That sort of thing. And what would the hive mind answer with that? You don't know, right?
Zosha might have like a husband and kids, and then be like, I don't want to. Carol likes I love you, and so well, I don't know.
I don't know you.
I don't. Yeah, I don't. I don't want to be here. So. Yeah, it adds to that question.
I wouldn't call it inherently evil, but I do call it very, very deeply unethical. The way the hive mind behaves, and they say like, we're not harming, we ain't hurt nobody, but it's like, yeah, well, you did.
Yeah,
millions of people died during the assimilation and all that. Like there's plenty of death and destruction that's kind of occurred, but because they're now like all kind of smiley and we'll help you, Carol. And John Cena comes up. Which again, that was A grade.
I loved that.
was fun.
That was A grade
that.
stuff. But it's also like
that was great.
It's again, would John Cena have done this? Play by play for this?
I mean,
hive mind.
Probably.
Yeah, for the
for
the right amount of money.
character.
If the company asked him to, he would. Yeah.
Does he do it in French for the Mr. Diabote or something? Does he do it? What language does he do it for him?
I don't know, but
he would know all languages, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but obviously for Mr. Diabote, because I think John Cena did the play for him as well, and he's like, I think this actor's in like.
I mean, he probably would.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all multilingual for every single conceivable dialect still spoken today. So.
I just want to see John Cena just speaking French or something.
He speaks Chinese as well.
Yeah.
Bin chilling.
One thing I think we talked about on the other episode is like I really love about Vince Gilligan shows is like. Showing characters like their thought process without saying anything. You can see their gears turning, their thought process, like problem solving, thinking like there's a big rock. How do I move that rock? Well, I'm only one person. I don't have any tools. How do I do that? I need leverage. So you go and they take their time. The episodes are slow, but in a good way of like, there's not a lot of dialogue. It's just like characters like, okay, I need this tool, so I'm going to go get this tool. And then I'm going to bring it over here. I'm going to combine it with this, and then this, and then, and it like, it's...
You get to sit in the character's head.
Yeah.
And you get to sit in the universe. There's no sense of urgency, which for a sci-fi show is unusual, but I really like it because, like, you watch it. Like I said, I know it sounds dumb to say this big sci-fi epic show has no urgency, but it really doesn't. There's like half an episode dedicated to Carol at a supermarket. And I'm like, and that's just the show's vibe. It's not like that's like one outlier episode. And that's why I'm interested to see where the next season goes, because it ends with a big moment. But I think that big moment's a bluff. Because we're doing full spoilers, right? Yeah. To placate the crazy person, she brings a nuclear bomb to her home. And it's like, okay, you want to save the planet? Here we go. He's the biggest weapon we can possibly conceive of, right? And obviously, it's not... The hive mind isn't something you can fight with a nuclear bomb. It's something you have to fight with science. Like
a nuclear bomb is science, boy.
No, what I mean is like chemical
Didn't
science.
you watch Oppenheimer?
Yeah,
It's science, baby.
Chemical science, not explosive science.
So there's some chemical science going on in there.
Yeah, true. There's even, what is that? Oppenheimer says there's a bottle of beer involved as well. So, you know. But my point is that, like, the next season, I think it's going to... I'm hoping that that guy will stop being so... I can't remember his name.
Manusos.
Yeah, he'll just chill his boots a little bit.
You got to get on team Manusos, man.
He's a principled man.
Yeah.
Listen,
he's got a machete.
If he had a machete in front of me and he threw my phone in the sewer, we're done.
Yeah, but that's because you're a phone addict. You're addicted
do you
to
know?
Twitter.
I mean, granted, you can get these things for free in the Hive Mind future.
That's
right?
true. You can just be
but
like,
also,
I need a new
you've
phone,
got all the photos here on your phone.
He does then fish it out though.
Yeah, I know, but
And
he's
again,
still
bad.
that's another great
He's
scene
still
where
dick.
any other show he would just lift the grate, get this phone out or whatever. But it's like he's like, oh, I need my machete, and then I'm gonna fish around
Wiggle
for
it,
it,
yeah.
and then it's gonna the magnet on that charger thing on the phone is gonna connect, and I'm like, oh, this is great.
Also, did like that related scene where they're trying to talk under the umbrella because the drone's in the sky.
Yeah. And he doesn't know. He's not fluent in English, and she doesn't really speak.
Even
Spanish.
the fact that he starts learning English on the way.
Yeah, that was great.
You know, like it's him putting an effort to, like I said, that's why you're on the... Like, she didn't learn bloody Spanish.
Yeah, Carol wouldn't do it.
She's like, I'm speaking English, I'm American.
She knows as much Spanish as he knows English. Come on.
No.
But then
all
he
she said was
decides to
like,
learn.
she swore at him in Spanish and then, you know...
Cabron.
Yeah.
I'm waiting to see in the next season that one of the... Polymarket bet here, boys. One of the comedic moments in the next season is him reading her book and being like, what trash is this?
Yeah.
I was like, what?
You wrote this?
He's just like, gay.
Yeah.
He's like, who wrote this shit? And it's like, well,
Yeah.
it's me. Oh.
No, but I think this will be a true test of the second season of the strength of the show going forward, and the second season is like, because in sort of logical fashion, you'd be like, well, they're going to use the bomb to bluff, but they're not going to use it. And then, either Carol will be like, well, you can't turn me or Manusos, because if you do, then I have to detonate the bomb. But then if Manusos gets turned, then Carol's like, I'm going to have to detonate the bomb.
They can't
one
be turned unless they consent anyway.
One of the biggest strengths of the bomb
that's for now. We don't know how...
Did Carol, when she requested the bomb, did she say a working bomb? Because in the
you think they're going to get into...
Well, they gave her a grenade that was working.
Yeah, that's different than a nuclear bomb. They could have just sent her like a deactivated nuke, right?
Also,
Also, she doesn't have the knowledge to
but
make
the other question is,
like,
She only told the guy it was a nuclear bomb. We didn't see her collect it. We don't know the arrangement that would happen behind the scenes.
They're in the desert, right?
That's true.
And nuclear bombs do emit electromagnetic pulses, which could mess with... so even if they don't detonate it in the city, they do it out in the desert somewhere. That could be whatever the kind of waves that are running through. If it affects it, that'd be interesting to see.
Yeah. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they deal with that, because there is a potential for the whole second season to drag out, and it just ends with, is Carol going to detonate the bomb or not? And I don't know. I think maybe.
I hope the bomb goes away after the first couple of episodes.
Yeah,
and we forget about it. I think it's a big problem.
Maybe it should be there in the background all the time. But maybe they shouldn't drag it out too long.
Yeah, we don't want it to turn to a season of.
But I
trust in Vince Gilligan for this.
I trust.
He's done very well for the first season. I don't see why he would mess it up. Like, he's got no reason to mess it up.
No.
It feels like
some projects just don't go as well as.
I feel like he would have come into this with it's his first big project since the Breaking Bad universe, right? He's probably he's had this kind of written for like 8 years or something.
Has he?
Yes. So he
has he said that?
Yeah, he had the whole story idea well in hand in his mind for 8 years.
Okay, that's good. At least he has a plan.
So
hopefully,
he's been sitting on this idea until he had the capacity to make it.
Also,
and Apple were like, "Product, please."
Green light. Yeah.
Green light.
Also, before we finish up, is From coming out this year?
I hope so. Who knows?
Because I really wanted that show to come back.
3 Body Problem season 2.
Man, that ending of From gave me such Lost vibes, and I was like, I don't know if I like Lost meets Heroes. I don't know if I like it or I hate it.
We talked about I'm like the
how many
From
times
people.
have teachers lesson, old man? Don't do this.
Yeah. We've talked about the From guys have a plan. Like it's all set out.
They
I can
better.
see it. I can see it.
I think the thing From has going for it is once you have seen, like, I guess, later seasons, you can see clues in the early seasons. It's not like they're just pulling shit out of their ass, right?
Yeah,
you can see there's seeds and that are planted in season 1 that come to fruit later.
100%.
So I trust in them, but we'll see.
Yeah. Fingers crossed. Hopefully it comes out this year, because it's been too long.
Yeah, we're just all about out of time
Mm-hmm.
for tonight. Thanks for listening, everyone. You can catch us on some of the social media garbage at Tuesday Review AU on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Newsmask, Blue Sky, and YouTube. Maybe one day the TikTok, but we're too old for TikTok.
Twitch.
Maybe one day.
Maybe we'll start playing games on Twitch. We'll see.
See how it goes.
Watching movies on Twitch.
Do people do that? Oh, that's
You can't. You public. It's illegal.
You know what?
I think they
we can watch publicly
I
available
was going to
movies.
say we'll start a movie watching Twitch
feel
chat
like
with
there's watch
only movies
along-
in the public domain.
I was going to say, there used to be metas on Twitch where, like, a lot of the higher-end streamers were just watching, like, Gordon Ramsay Kitchen Nightmares and shit. But, like, that's not...
No one really...
it's not legal, technically.
I feel like it was a thing that you could do watch-alongs and stuff.
You used to do it on Xbox.
Yeah,
the Netflix app, you could have your own little maze there. Not
Oh,
maze.
yeah,
What
it was
like
like theater and you had little seats.
Anyway, we'll see. It's still early, 2026.
Yeah, we're on Letterboxd. I'm Nathan B _90.
I'm channeldrifter.
Alan 20.
I'm Callum Tuesday.
Please rate us as high as you can. Subscribe on YouTube. Do everything to support the
Ring
channel.
that bell. Subscribe to YouTube.
As
ring
we
the bell.
try and grow. We've got an
Leave a
exciting month
comment.
leading up this year, so stay tuned. Later in the month, we may have a very special guest
Mm-hmm.
tell us about their adventures.
Yeah.
We'll be back next week. Thanks for listening, everyone. Adios, cousins.